Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Rangers, and I'm here to talk about Game 60, where the Rangers win 5-2 over the Los Angeles Kings. I'm done. Every year, you watch your team, and they'll have those games, or those moments, or those whatevers that you just go, I'm done trying to figure them out. I'll never understand this team. This might be the actual breaking point where I will never understand the New York Rangers. If I can, let me paint a picture for you, right? Yesterday, 28 hours before the start of this game, the Rangers played a different game. They were playing in Washington, D.C. against the Washington Capitals, a team that is mediocre as all hell this season. And in that game, you got caved in 6-3. Your third straight 6-goal loss. You got caved in so bad that your starting goaltender, Igor Shesterkin, who played yesterday, got pulled midway through the third period at like 48 minutes time on ice, which is, remember, goalie, a lot. Played yesterday. Just want to emphasize that, right? Pull him in the middle of the game, ruin his confidence of that, or not ruin it, but mess it up a bit. And then potentially, now we know, force him to play again. But that's beside the point, right? You pull your goaltender. That's how bad you're getting caved in. And you lose Ryan Lindgren, who is your first pair defenseman, one of them. And this team, historically speaking, is really good when you have Ryan Lindgren. And when he's gone, garbage, tire fire. So you lose him yesterday. You know for a fact he's not coming back today, even though he's a cyborg and can play through practically anything. But you lose him. You know he isn't playing today. He entered today's game against a really good Los Angeles Kings team, who is in that just absolute bloodbath of a fight for the top spot in the Western Conference. And the second night of a back-to-back with travel, your goalie is playing the second consecutive game. He's starting a second straight game. And you cave them in by 3 goals. And not only that, but then at the end of the first period, you lose K'Andre Miller because of an incident. I'll talk about that in a minute. And you're down to Jacob Trouba, Adam Fox, Nico Mikkola, Ben Harpur, and Brendan Schneider. Harpur and Trouba played nearly 30 minutes. And Mika Zibanejad would leave this game for a little bit. He'd come back in the third period to a rousing applause. But I'm done. I don't understand this team, and I don't know that I ever will. The first goal, the Rangers score first, because you're allowed to do that. They wouldn't leave the first period this time, down by multiple goals. What a wild, novel concept, right? It's the kids' line. It's always the kids' line. Hedel, Lafreniere, nice pass across the crease over to Capo Caco. He probably should have shot the puck there. You'd like that, but it resulted in a goal anyway, so it's fine. He passes it back to Alexei Lafreniere, banks it off of Jonathan Quick's pad. Oof, buddy, that's tough, but the Rangers have a 1-0 lead. And even though you're only 1 goal into this game, it's time that we pump the brakes and talk about the big old story for this game, which is K'Andre Miller. There's no way to be subtle about this, guys. He spit in Drew Doughty's face. There's no getting around it. There's no way to sugarcoat it. That's horrible. It's awful. It is an inexcusable act. I absolutely love K'Andre Miller. He is one of my favorite players on this team. I think he's a really great up-and-coming defenseman. He has been in a rough stretch recently, and this is a terrible look for him as an individual, and the team as a whole. It is a bad look. There's the rumor right now that he's going to get a 3-game suspension for it. He got a game misconduct for it and was taken out. And if it's 3 games, I think it's warranted. I think that is more than deserved. You can't do that. You absolutely cannot do that. It is inexcusable, and I think he deserves to be suspended for a few games. This has got to be a take a moment and reevaluate things moment for K'Andre Miller, and I'm hoping that he comes out on the better end of this and learns from this mistake and never has a game misconduct or never does anything wrong again. I don't think by any means you can look at this and see a track record. This is the first time I believe K'Andre Miller has ever been game misconducted out of a game. This is the only time I can really think of him ever getting into a scrum where he was on the wrong side of it. So this is not a theme of him being dirty or a theme of him being this bad character. This was hopefully a one-off. Heat of the moment, everybody gets one. But if that specific thing ever happens again, or something similar, you might have to have a long conversation if you're the New York Rangers sitting him down. Boy, I hate talking about that. Anyway, the Rangers managed to kill off a 5-minute major. Unreal penalty killing. Just hats off, the utmost respect for them of being able to kill off 5 minutes. And in the second period, the Rangers get on the board again, their second of the night. This was Trocheck carrying in, fires one kind of towards the net. He might have been looking for a pass, but it deflects off of Roy and past Jonathan Quick. The Rangers have a 2-0 lead. And then Trocheck again gets a feed from Fox in the neutral zone, cruises into the offensive zone. There are like 4 Kings around him, no one playing close defense. Fires one, beats Quick cleanly. A beautiful shot, a beautiful play from Trocheck. That's his second of the night, and the Rangers are up 3-0. But it's not all fun. Late in the second period, on a power play, the Kings, this was Kaliev, fires one. It's deflected way up in the air, and Victor Arvidsson tips it in, bats it in, however you want to say it. And here's the thing. This is the best kind of controversial goal because it didn't end up affecting the game. The Rangers still won. I thought it was touched with a high stick. I thought that very easily could have been waved off. I also understand that I think that's whatever the call is on the ice is going to stand regardless. I don't think you could overturn that if they would have said no goal, I don't think you could have overturned it to be a goal. I don't think you could have overturned it to not be a goal. I thought it was a high stick. But again, it's the best kind of controversial goal because it didn't end up affecting the game. But it seemed like it very well might because early in the third period, it's an odd man rush with Deneau and Roy. I think it just barely clipped Trouba's stick as he was trying to defend the 2-on-1 because Panarin bit in the offensive zone, which was not wonderful, allowing said 2-on-1. Again, I think it just barely nicked Trouba's stick. It gets past Shesterkin. It's 3-2 now, and all of a sudden, it might be starting to slip away from you, and maybe the fatigue is going to show. But from there on out, it was all Rangers. But less than a minute later, Artemi Panarin makes up for his defensive mistake, fires one on net, Copley stops it. Beautiful save by Copley on this play. But Panarin gets his own rebound, and at this point, he was lying on his back, just flailing his arms and legs, hoping to hit something. We've all been there. And Panarin gets it through, scores. It's 4-2 Rangers. And then a few minutes after that, on a power play, Mika Zibanejad, who left the game injured and returned to the game on the power play. Big slap shot from Mika, scores. That's his 31st of the season, and the Rangers have the 5-2 lead, which would be how the game would end. Now again, I don't understand them. I don't understand the New York Rangers. Everything points to that you should have won yesterday and lost today. Like, if you would have told me that these two games would happen, and you would say that Igor would start both of them, and you would say that Ryan Lindgren would get injured in the Capitals game, and you would say that we would lose Keandre Miller in this game, and that Mika would leave with an injury in this game, I would bet every dollar I have ever had that you'd beat the Caps and lose this one, or maybe even lose both. But instead, you let the Capitals run your show and then beat up on the Kings because reasons. The offense was great. He scored 5 goals. Kids line was rolling again. Mika on the power play. The Rangers' power play is starting to look solid again, which is great. Give Jacob Trouba and Adam Fox all the credit in the world. They were great defensively. They helped lock it down in this game. All of the defenders deserve it. I mean, you had 5 defensemen against a very, very good, possibly conference-winning or conference champion. No, conference lead. The 1 seed in the Western Conference. I don't know how to phrase it. Potentially that team playing against 5 defensemen, and you locked it down. The defensemen in this game deserve all the credit in the world. Igor Shesterkin was fantastic. He was amazing. 26 of 28, and the 2 goals were a power play that probably maybe wasn't a goal, and a 2-on-1. Igor was amazing. He had some unreal saves, looked fantastic. I think the little bit of confidence that he might have had from the first period of the Caps game rolled into this one because he was dazzling in this game, and it was magnificent to see. You also had the Panarin and Trocheck line that just rolled this game over. That was fantastic to see. And the good news is the Rangers don't play again until Wednesday, and hopefully by Wednesday, all signs are pointing to by Wednesday, the Kane trade should be a done deal for the New York Rangers, or at the very least, it'll be known if you're getting him or not. So hopefully by then, they can fully get their minds right and be back in it. And also, you're playing the Flyers. Please don't lose to the Philadelphia Flyers, guys. Please don't do that. On 3 days rest, please don't lose to the Flyers. That's 7:30 Wednesday in Philadelphia. I'll be here afterwards to talk about it, but as for right now, that is all I have. So if you enjoyed the video, please consider to like and subscribe. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and as always, go Rangers.